We all know Kendall Jenner as Forbes' highest-paid supermodel, Victoria's Secret angel, and member of one of the biggest celebrity families in America. But few people know that she's also considered to be the black sheep of the Kardashian-Jenner family. Today we're going to take an in-depth look at Kendall Jenner's life, accomplishments, and scandals to get a picture of how she became the black sheep of her family. And spoiler alert, it all happened early on in her childhood. Her black sheep status goes from her formative years all the way to the present, where she just signed a controversial endorsement deal with a huge company. But we'll get to that later. Many artists and celebrities have been the self-proclaimed black sheep of their families. Stars like Lisa Bonet, Dustin Hoffman, and Sienna Miller have all shared that they felt like the black sheep of their family. The black sheep does normally do things a little bit differently than the rest of the family. They may feel like the odd one of the bunch. There are many reasons for Kendall Jenner's black sheep title. She doesn't have her own reality show. She's very private about her love life, unlike her sisters, and apparently she had trouble making friends growing up. To get to know Kendall a little better, let's go back to where it all began. Kendall Jenner was the first daughter to be born to Kris Kardashian and Bruce Jenner, now known as Caitlyn Jenner. After they were married in 1991, she and her sister Kylie inherited a large family. Since Kris and Bruce both had 4 children from previous marriages, before Kendall came along, Kendall's mother Kris married Robert Kardashian, and the couple had 4 children: Kim, Kourtney, Khloe, and Robert Jr. Then they divorced in 1991. Just a few years later, before Robert represented the O.J. Simpson case during the famous murder trial, Kris got remarried to Bruce Jenner in 1991. Bruce also had 4 children from a previous marriage: Bert, Casey, Brandon, and Brody. So including Kendall and her sister Kylie, that makes 10 siblings. Is your head spinning yet? Obviously, there was a lot going on before these 2 sisters even arrived, and there was much more to come. While Kendall was born into a rich, famous family, she often felt like an outsider. Apparently, she suffered from a severe acne as a kid. She also admits that she had trouble making friends. Kendall opened up in an interview sharing that during middle school days, she would sit in her room and cry because Kylie had so many friends and she just didn't know what to do. She said she felt like she was never going to have friends. Kendall told Vogue magazine that she had it so rough during those childhood years. She took to the stables to make lasting friendships. Kendall loves riding horses. She believes that her relationships with these majestic creatures were crucial for her survival throughout middle school. It wasn't until her freshman year in high school that she started to come out of her shell and make friends of the human persuasion. Clearly, a lot has changed for Kendall since high school, but still, her life is anything but perfect. Sure, she was named the highest paid model in 2018 by Forbes, and yes, she's absolutely gorgeous. And of course, she has a huge, close-knit celebrity family. But she admits that she has always been a bit different than her siblings. While she's very comfortable on camera, even opening up about her debilitating battles with anxiety, there are still some aspects of her life that she prefers to keep private. And that alone separates her from the rest of her siblings, who would have put their lives in the public eye for the world to see. While Kendall was crowned as the highest-paid supermodel of 2018, she wasn't very confident about starting out in the fashion world. She said when she first started modeling, she thought it was going to be embarrassing. She was pretty sure that no one would accept her and that she was going to be a complete failure. The fashion world can be quite picky, and they are pretty set on discovering new fresh faces. Kendall came with a lot of reality TV ties, and her sister, Kim, said that she thought being a Kardashian actually would work against her. She said that some people look down on those who come from a reality show background. She added that a lot of people in the fashion industry don't respect that world. Kendall obviously picked up on those vibes, which is what caused her to be so insecure in the beginning. But she was far from a complete failure. In 2014, she was hired for the Marc Jacobs Fall Fashion Show. That was the moment she really proved herself. Even though she was painfully aware that some people still saw her as an outsider who rode in on the coattails of her family fame. She worked hard to break that false perception that others had given her. This is a major reason she still goes out of her way to talk with the new girls backstage and welcome them into the mix. She knows how lonely it can be to be the new girl with a lot to prove. Because Kendall wanted to succeed on her own merit as a model for the Marc Jacobs Fall show, she lovingly asked her family not to come and sit in the front row. She told them that she was trying hard to be taken seriously and she thought their presence at the show would make it seem like a stunt or a joke. She expressed that this is what she wanted to do with her life. She really needed to prove that she could do it on her own. Marc Jacobs stood by his decision to hire Kendall. He said that every bit of her success is a testament to her hard work and passion. That show was just the beginning of her incredible modeling career. Since then, Kendall has walked the runways for some major fashion designers, such as Diane von Furstenberg, Chanel, Tommy Hilfiger, Givenchy, and Dolce & Gabbana. She's strutted on the catwalk during New York Fashion Week and Milan Fashion Week and even Paris Fashion Week. At just 19 years old, Miss Jenner became the face of a cosmetic giant, Estee Lauder. The campaign featured footage of Kendall as a child getting makeup tips from her mother, Kris Jenner. Kendall also went on to do some pretty racy Calvin Klein ads. People were kind of freaking out over the grapefruit, calling the ads inappropriate and not suitable for work. Then she rocked the runway in the Victoria's Secret fashion show a total of 3 times. The Victoria's Secret angel walked the runway in 2015 and 2016. She didn't appear in 2017 because of a more lucrative multi-million-dollar deal with La Perla Lingerie. But she put on her peacock feathers for the 2018 Victoria's Secret fashion show, and her sister Kylie was very proud. Kendall also has a pretty successful clothing line with her sister called Kendall and Kylie. She makes regular appearances on her family's reality show, so even though she's the black sheep of her family, she's doing pretty well for herself. But her career hasn't been without its pitfalls. You can't really talk about a member of the Kardashian family without mentioning the scandals. Unfortunately, this holds true for even the black sheep of the family, Kendall Jenner. The tricky part about being the more private one of the famous family is that the public tends to fill in the blanks. For instance, many have speculated about Kendall's sexuality. She said she thinks people were wondering because she's not like all her other sisters who publicly display their relationships with their boyfriends and spouses. Kendall said it was a thing for a minute because no one ever saw her with a guy. Kendall shared that she would always go the extra mile to be low-key with guys, sneaking around to make sure her love life was private. She's just a bit guarded when it comes to her love life. The next scandal came from a photo shoot with Vogue magazine. Kendall Jenner was featured with her hair styled as an afro, which some people found offensive, claiming cultural appropriation. Vogue issued an apology stating that they were going for a romantic Edwardian Gibson girl look with Kendall's hair, as well as the teased-out big hair looks of the 60s and 70s, and that they certainly did not mean to offend anyone by it. It appears that Kendall has even become the black sheep of the fashion world this year, when she was called out by her fellow models for an insensitive comment she made in an interview with Love magazine. In the interview, she was explaining why she had to slow down a bit with her modeling jobs, because she was getting overwhelmed. Kendall said that since the beginning, she has been super selective about what shows she would do. She said that she was never one of those girls who would do like 30 shows a season or whatever those girls do. Then she added more power to them. She went on to say that she's had a million jobs, not only catwalks but everything else. She said that the whole combination was very overwhelming, and she started to freak out a little bit and needed to take a step back. Her fellow models were not too happy with her for that comment. One model named Daria Strokus snapped back, saying that whatever those girls do is their very best to make their way up and try to make some money so that they can provide for themselves and their families. Daria went on to say that it's actually 70 shows a season, that they are all proud of every single girl and the girls that did it. Polished model Jack Jakasiak said that Kendall's comment made her so angry. She thought it was super disrespectful to literally 99% of the people in the industry. She added that yes, these girls had to work their way up and suggested that Kendall get in touch with the real world. Kendall had to do a bit of damage control on this one. Her rep said that the quote was taken out of context and that she admires the hard work and dedication of her fellow runway models. Then, of course, there was the Pepsi ad, which was responsible for the biggest collective cringe moment in 2017. In case you were living in a cave while all of this went down, here's what happened. Kendall was super excited because she was offered a chance to be in an iconic Pepsi commercial. She couldn't wait to be in the ad. She said she was thrilled to follow in the footsteps of the huge celebs who went before her, like Michael Jackson and Beyoncé, who made history with their unforgettable commercials for Pepsi. Kendall said her commercial would be unforgettable. It was, and not just the way she had in mind. In the ad, Kendall is in the middle of a photo shoot when she notices people marching in a protest. Though it is unclear what the crowd is protesting, their signs just read things like peace, love, and join the conversation. Kendall decides to join the protesters. She pulls off her blonde wig and wipes off her lipstick. The protest doesn't really reflect reality, as there is a handsome cellist smiling and a dude breakdancing in the street. Not to mention the well-stocked bucket of Pepsi cans, from which Kendall grabs one with ease. The most cringeworthy moment came when Kendall approached a police officer and handed him a Pepsi, which was supposed to make everything all better. The world is totally peaceful now. Thanks, Pepsi. The commercial was harshly criticized as being tone-deaf and appropriating images from the Black Lives Matter movement in order to sell soda. Many people thought that this diminished the Black Lives Matter movement and trivialized the message behind the real protests that were occurring at the time. Even Martin Luther King's youngest daughter, Bernice King, tweeted with a picture of her father protesting and wrote, "If only Daddy would have known the power of Pepsi." This was a total crash and burn moment for Pepsi. They yanked the ad after 24 hours and issued an apology, stating Pepsi was trying to project a global message of unity, peace, and understanding. "Clearly, we missed the mark, and we apologize. We did not intend to make light of any serious issues. We are removing the content and halting any further rollout. We apologize for putting Kendall Jenner in this position." Kendall didn't publicly respond to the backlash about the ad until 6 months later on the 14th season premiere of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kendall cried at the end of the episode, saying that obviously if she knew this was going to be the outcome, she would never have done something like this. So what's next for Kendall? The internet was all abuzz at the beginning of 2019 due to a cryptic Instagram post made by Kendall's mom, Kris Jenner. Kris posted a video of her daughter talking about something that she went through, but she doesn't say what it is. She just says that she can help people because she's been through it. Kris captioned the video, writing that she is so proud of her darling Kendall Jenner for being so brave and vulnerable. She wrote that seeing her share her most raw story in order to make a positive impact for so many people and help foster a positive dialogue is a testament to the incredible woman she's become. Kris told fans to make sure to watch Kendall's Twitter on January 6th to find out what she's talking about. She added that everyone should be prepared to be moved. Needless to say, people were freaking out about this big reveal. But when it came out on the 6th that Kendall was talking about her acne and partnering with Proactive, let's just say that the internet was not exactly moved like Kris thought. Given Kendall's battle with anxiety, it's safe to say that people might have been hanging on to hope that she was coming forward about her own raw story, about anxiety and how she overcame it. Other people thought that she might be ready to come out as gay or bisexual. Instead, she was talking about zits. Fans expressed their disappointment on Twitter, saying things like, Kendall Jenner really just set up an entire dramatic scheduled announcement just to reveal that she has pimples. It seemed that fans were expecting a bigger bombshell than a Proactive partnership. Many fans were saying that Kendall might not be telling the truth about Proactive being the reason her face cleared up. Fans were quick to point out that she credited her dermatologist in 2015 for helping with her acne problems. In her blog, which is no longer active, Kendall said that she relied on laser treatment to clear up her skin. One Twitter user named Sabrina responded to her announcement tweeting, "Sis, don't tell me that this is the announcement your mom tagged with hashtag be the change, and hashtag share your story, and hashtag change the conversation." Proactive stood behind Kendall after the backlash, assuring the public that she does indeed use Proactive and that they want to drive a conversation around skin positivity. Jenner has also posted on her Instagram about her Proactive backlash, saying that while there are much bigger problems happening in the world, suffering from acne for her was debilitating. She said it's something that she has dealt with since she was just a young teen and has caused her to feel anxious, helpless, and insecure. This backlash from the public hasn't stopped Kendall from opening up about the conversation surrounding her battle with acne. She recently participated in the viral 10-year challenge that's been going on around the internet by posting 2 side-by-side photos of her pimple-covered face at 13 years old. She captioned the photos saying that when she was 13, she would run home crying every day because people would stare at her skin. But no matter what the fans say, Kendall always has her family, even if she is the black sheep. As German psychotherapist Bruce Hellinger says, this so-called black sheep of the family are, in fact, seekers of liberation, roads for the family tree. Those members of the family who do not adapt to the rules or traditions of the family system. Those who were constantly seeking to revolutionize beliefs. He said that the black sheep of the family tend to go in contrast to roads marked by family traditions, and that they are called to release the family tree of repetitive stories that frustrate the entire generation. They are rebels, detoxifiers, and they create new and blooming branches in the family tree. So if you're feeling like a black sheep of your family, you're in good company. Hellinger encourages the black sheep to take care of their rarity as the most precious flower of the family tree. After all, you could be the dream of your ancestors, pimples or not. One thing is for certain, Kendall is marching to the beat of her own drum. Are you considered the black sheep of your family? If so, tell us in the comments what makes you stand out from the herd. And make sure that you subscribe to TheTalko so you never miss out on our newest videos. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button. We'll see you next time.